India's Grandmaster Gukesh he made history on Monday as he became the youngest player in the world to win the Candidates Chess Tournament 2024. The 17-year-old has qualified for the World Championship final. But today we have someone who has not just won the world title once but 5 times. A man under whose guidance chess has flourished in India, and we are now seeing the results on the world stage. Viswanathan Anand, welcome to NDTV. My first question to you is, what is your reaction on Gukesh's win? Is it a massive achievement?
Totally. It's a historical moment, actually. Youngest ever challenger. And I remember waiting for the result. And 10 minutes before the end, literally, it was heading for a tiebreak. And then, just miraculous. Just a few minutes before the end, there was a blunder on the other board. And
yes.
After that, his opponent, Nepomniachtchi, defended perfectly against Caruana, and Gukesh was through. So also one of these moments that surprised you so suddenly.
But what would this victory mean to Gukesh? And more importantly, to you, sir, you have been such an integral part of his journey.
Gukesh is a very level-headed boy. I'm sure still the magnitude is sinking in of what he has done. But what little I spoke to him, he's just thinking about now, what do I do next? And looking forward. So he seems to have landed on his feet. Let's see. As for me and for Indian chess, I would say that 4 years ago through Vaka, I started interacting with Gukesh. And I've helped him make a lot of changes to the composition of his team, to how he works and so on. And we've been working closely together. And I'm just very, very proud that he has managed this phenomenal achievement. In a way, I feel like I've managed to pass on the baton.
Well, you certainly have. And there are so many of these young chess players who are doing so well on the world stage. Do you consider this as the golden era of Indian chess?
Yes, we have 4 or 5 youngsters who are already in the top 20. And then we have another 5 or 6 in the pipeline. So what this means is that in every single competition in chess for the next 5 or 10 years, there will be one Indian to root for, at least. I mean, it just seems like a very realistic expectation. And there's a good chance a lot of them will compete for the highest title. What's even more important, what makes this generation very strong is they're already a golden generation, as I mentioned. But just imagine, they may be in the top 20 in the world, but they may not even be number 1 in their city, because they're constantly looking over their shoulder at each other. And this means that competition will keep them ahead. So I also like to joke that Prag and Vaishali have to look nervously within their own household, and then everyone else in the same city and so on. So I think that competition will keep them in top shape.
Vishy sir, I also want to ask you about Vaka, the Westbridge Anand Chess Academy, your academy. What is the long-term objective of this academy?
Okay, so the idea that Westbridge and me had when we started this academy was, let's do something to help the next generation get set up. I was already looking at slowly winding down. And so we thought, well, let's do something to support the next generation. And we were looking at this segment, really, the very best juniors in India. How do we make sure they get to exactly this, the top 10, compete for the world title and so on? Because until now, we've had some phenomenally talented players, but their progress wasn't always that smooth, and we felt we could intervene and help. In that sense, I would say we have gone quite fast. They have exceeded my expectations and my plans. I mean, I try to set realistic goals, but they've been broken time and again. So we are here, but we're continuing to work with a lot of youngsters as well. And plus, we work closely with Gukesh, with Vaishali, with Prag, and we're supporting them directly in many ways. I think it looks very good. I'm very, very excited to have this opportunity as well, to work with such great talents.
In fact, we are all very excited. Gukesh has actually become only the second Indian after you to win the candidates. What is your reaction on Gukesh emulating that feat?
It's a huge step because he did it 7 years earlier than I did.
Yeah.
And he's competed in one of the strongest candidates tournaments in history. The three rivals he had going into the last round were all some of the highest rated players in history.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. In fact, before the tournament, most people predicted experience would win.
Yeah.
And in the maybe euphoria over Gukesh, we shouldn't overlook that actually experience did pretty well. The next three guys are all experienced, but he kind of broke the mold. It's just, it's fantastic. Now I'm keen to help him, and let's see when the dates of the match and against Ding Liren get announced and all that. And of course, Westbridge, and I will be very closely working with him and helping him get ready for that match.
Well,
I guess now that I've shared my experiences in the candidates, I have to start sharing the experience of the World Championship next.
Well, he'll definitely need that help from you. And like you mentioned, he will be facing Ling Diren in the World Chess Championship final. How much of a challenge is it going to be, and what is the realistic expectations? Because Gukesh says that he is very confident.
I'm glad he's confident. I would just say you always have to prepare for the best version of your opponent. Ding Liren has had some doubtful form recently, but historically he's been one of the best players. And in several years, he's shown just very, very impressive stats. So I would just say, look, prepare for the best version, because you never know when it comes back. And take it from there. But Gukesh is generally very hardworking, very sensible in that sense, and I think he will have a quite difficult 6 or 7 months. But these are also the moments when you grow a lot, because you're forced to work a lot. You can expand a lot as a person and as a chess player, and I hope he will use the chance to make a lot of big changes.
To ask, what is that one message that you have for all the budding chess players who want to take up this particular sport professionally?
I just want to tell them, play your chess, enjoy your chess. That's what Gukesh has been doing for the last decade or so. So just is a great example to emulate. Play your chess, try to enjoy it, get in a lot of it, and you will get stronger. It may not happen always when you expect it to, but it will happen. And more generally, I would tell people, look, this is going to be a very exciting time for Indian chess. Why don't you watch us and follow us and play a little bit? I mean, even a little bit of chess helps in at school, for instance. So it's a great activity to include in your routine.
All right, Viswanathan Anand, thank you very much for being here on NDTV, but most importantly, for paving the way for chess as a sport in India.